بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم اللهم لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا انك انت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني رب يسر ولا تسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا عليم عليم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. باب في الوسوسة. وسوسة similar to waswa. Both sound almost the same. Waswasa and waswa. Evil thoughts or evil uh, promptings. Waswasa is a thought about the son or this belief that comes to the mind that shaitan puts into the mind, right? That is waswasa. Is a pious thought that comes to the mind from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the difference between waswasa comes from shaitan and ilham comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The kinds of thoughts, there can be different aspects of waswasa. On that basis, the Islamic scholars have defined it different kinds. They are daruri and ikhtiyari. The first type, daruri, is also called ittirari, and it is a sudden impulse to commit a wrong. It is defined in a terminology as hajiz. Hajiz. It was forgiven for the past months and for this ummah as well. If this thought continues in the mind and creates unease, this too is forgiven for this ummah. The ikhtiyari is a thought that persists and creates an uneasiness and a deep desire, and you have a pleasure to do that thought, that waswasa. This kind of ikhtiyari is called ham, and it is forgiven only to our ummah. The previous ummahs, they were punishable for that. But for our ummah, it was forgiven also. As long as it is not put into practice, as long as the thought just remains a thought, it will be forgiven. There is no reckoning on that, and no sin is recorded. Rather, if he chooses or he resolves to do it, he thinks that he's going to do it, but afterwards he checks himself and he says that he's not going to do it, then rather one good deed is written for him. A piety, a neki is recorded for him. Another kind of ikhtiyari waswasa is azm. It is to receive and to get that evil thought and to keep it there to oneself without any kind of distaste or hate to that thought, but to make a firm intention that you're going to do that evil action. There's nothing that stops him. And if he has the required ability to do it, this kind is liable to be questioned and punished, but in a lighter manner than if it was actually done. So he had the ability. He said, I'm definitely going to do this evil action. Nothing stopped him from doing it. And he said, no, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so that action is liable of punishment, right? It must be made clear that these types of waswasa concerns the apparent limbs with which the temptation is put into action. The limbs that you're going to use. For example, like adultery, you're going to use the limb. Or theft, you're going to use the hands to steal. The kind that are associated with the mind and heart, like a false belief or hasad or so on, they are not covered by this division. If they come into the mind and they're entertained all the time, then they too will be liable for punishment. So when you have and it's not something that can be put into lumps. It's just something that's in your mind, and you entertain that thought all the time. Then too you might be liable for punishment. Hello.
أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تجاوز عن أمتي ما وسوست به صدورها ما لم تعمل به وتتكلم متفق عليه. أبو هريرة رضي الله عنه ليس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives my ummah that waswasa that comes from his heart as long as it does not echo or speak upon it.
Yes, you mustn't speak upon it also. You must say that you know what thought I had. Do this and that and that. You mustn't speak about it. You mustn't act upon it and you mustn't speak of much with his life.
وعنه قال جاءت ناس من أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فسألوه إنا نجد في أنفسنا ما يتعاظم أحدنا يتكلم به قال أو قد وجدتموه قالوا نعم قال ذاك صريح الإيمان ومسلم Abu Hurairah narrated people came from the companions of the Prophet came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him that indeed we find ourselves that which ما يتعاظم أحدنا that even we even dislike to speak about it.
Yes, we wouldn't even dare mention it.
So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أوفد وجد so this occurred to you or both happened. So he said, Na'am, Qala Zaka. So he said that this is great iman.
Yes, there's clear iman. Because once you have iman, shaitan becomes your enemy. And he will try to always put thoughts inside of you. So that's why that is a clear iman that now I'm believing, now shaitan will always put those thoughts.
وعنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يأتي الشيطان أحدكم فيقول من خلق كذا من خلق كذا حتى يقول من خلق ربك فإذا بلغه فليستعيذ بالله ولا فليستعيذ بالله ولينتهي. So Abu Hurairah narrated, Shaitan will come to one of you and will say, who created this and who created that, until he says, who created the Rabb. So when that comes, then seek protection from Allah and leave it.
Yes, terminate that thought. Just put out that thought. So shaitan will always come and he will always bring you these questions. You just one and you're looking at nature and then you see, hey, there's a nice tree. Oh, then all of it, who created this tree? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And shaitan will go further to say that, okay, who created this now? Who created that? Until the thought comes, who created Allah? A'udhu billah. Then at the time you must seek protection from Allah. You say, A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim, and just terminate there. Just leave it. Salam.
وعنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يزال الناس يتساءلون حتى يقولوا هذا خلق الله الخلق فمن خلق ومن وجد من ذلك شيئا فليقل آمنت بالله ورسله متفق عليه. Abu Hurairah narrated Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that people will continue to ask one another حتى يقالوا until it is said that that's the code for Allah, for who created Allah. فمن وجد ذلك شيئا, so whoever finds anything from that, then he should say that I believe in Allah and His Messenger.
So the moment you start believing, shaitan becomes question. So one of the ways to protect oneself from the mischief of shaitan is to immediately express belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The moment you express belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, shaitan is already put onto the back foot. So no one created Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything. So in the moment you say amantu billah wa rasuli, you're already fighting shaitan.
وعن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما منكم من أحد إلا وقد وكل به قرينه من الجن قرينه من الملائكة قالوا وإياك يا رسول الله قال وإياي ولكن الله أعني عليه فاسلم فلا يأمر فاسلم فلا يأمرني إلا بخير وأخلص. Ibn Mas'ud narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if any one of you said that he has been appointed an angel or a jinn has been appointed to him, which so they said even you or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said even myself, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected me and given me security, so do not encourage me except with good.
Yes. Made me, he's helped me to overpower him, so he became a Muslim. Right? So, yeah. فَلَا يَأْمُرُنِي إِلَّا بِخَيْرٍ. He does not command me except with good. So every person has muwakkals. Muwakkal, somebody to look after him. The angel is called mulhim, and the shaitan, the devil, is called waswas. So the angel inspires him to do good thoughts, while the shaitan, the waswas, he tempts him and he puts evil thoughts.
عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الشيطان يجري من الإنسان مجري الدم متفق عليه. فأنس رضي الله عنه raised رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said that indeed shaitan moves through a human like the food of the blood.
Yes, shaitan moves around with us all the time.